Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Showtime's Cooking. Today we're doing something a little bit different. My viewers asked, and at their demand, I brought it to them. Today we're doing something a little different. We're doing a whole hog. Some may be wondering, what in the world does Showtime have in front of him? Showtime has a whole hog in front of him. I have a 131-pound whole hog in front of me that has already been butchered, that has already been split down the middle. What we're gonna do right now is we're gonna trim this hog up. We're gonna take and get some of this excess fat off of here. We're gonna take and trim it up and get it ready for the grill and take and season it up. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take and trim it up and get it ready for the grill. Take and trim this hog up and get it ready for the grill, which is gonna go on this big grill that's directly behind me. I'm gonna show you that grill. We're gonna smoke this hog for 8 hours at 250 degrees. We're gonna smoke this hog for 8 hours at 250 degrees. We're gonna season this hog today with 3 seasonings. We're gonna season this hog today with 3 seasons, and the 3 seasons that we're gonna use today will be some Killer Hogs barbecue rub. We're gonna season it today with some Pit Boss pulled pork barbecue rub, and also we're gonna take and season it today with some bone sucking sauce season. But before we do all that, we've already washed it all up. So the first thing we're gonna do right now is trim it up to get some of this excess fat off it. So what we're gonna just take and do is just take your knife and just trim it. Just trim it to get some of this fat off it, because we want to show some of that lean meat. Some of that lean meat. So just go down here, just trim it to get some of that fat off so we can show some of that lean meat. That's what we want to do. We want to show some of that lean meat to get some of that fat off, to expose the meat, to expose the lean meat on these pork shoulders, on these pork bulks, on these pork longs. That's what we want to do. That's what we want to do. And we want to trim up all up in here to get all this stuff off that we don't want to cook. You always want to do that, to trim up your hog, to get all that excess stuff off that you don't want to cook. The excess fat, the excess fat, the excess hog stuff that you don't want to cook off the hog, because sometimes they may leave the liver on the hog. Sometimes they may leave the tail on the hog. See, on this one we do still have the tail on the hog, but we're gonna smoke the tail right on the hog. See, this one, right, this hog here is a little fatty. So what we're doing now is we get a lot of that fat off the hog, because we want to get exposed to that meat there. We want to get exposed to that meat there. See, we want to get exposed to that meat. We want to get exposed all to that meat so it can cook. We want our season to get directly to that meat so it can cook. See, all that fat there. We want to get it seasoned. We want our meat to get right, our season to get right to that meat. So we trimming it up a little bit. Get all the excess fat off, so our season can get right to that meat, so that when we bite into it, we have that that succulent taste. So that's what you're doing. So the thing about a whole hog, you want to cook it low and slow. You want to get up here at the pork shoulders. You want to trim all of that excess stuff off at the pork shoulder. You don't want to cook all this stuff up at the pork shoulder. You want to get all this stuff off. So as you're trimming that hog up, you want to make sure it's pretty. You want to dress it up. As your grill come up to temperature, you want to dress it all up. And then sometimes some people may go in here and they shoot the shoulders up. You can shoot it up with apple juice. You can shoot it up with whatever your favorite season blend is. But ours has been soaking in a brine so that we're good to go there. So that you don't want to dry your hog out. So you get up in there to cut all that excess stuff out. So some folks, you know, they be scared, so they don't want to deal with the hog. And see, back in our day, growing up, we would have to get up early in the morning, about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, to surprise the hog, to go out to the fields and actually kill the hog. See, some folks can't put up with the killing the hog. You had to surprise the hog, kill him, gut them. That's where you get your hog chitlins from. Also, in a few minutes, I'm going to show you the hog head. Some folks out of the hog head, you know, you get your hog cheese. Some folks make the barbecue out of it. Some folks make the south out of it. But I also have the hog head. I have the pig feet. I have all that. You know, you have up in here, you have your pork loin, you have your ribs, you get your bacon out of here, you get your Boston butt out of here. So you get all of that out of your hog here. So you want to trim it up nice and pretty, so that way when you begin to cook, we get your those skins that some folks that love, those meat skins that you love there. You get all of that right out of here also. So this, you know, this hog here came from Acre Station out of North Carolina. So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna come on this side here, trim it up also. We're gonna come on this side. We're gonna trim some of this fat up also. Get some of this fat out of here also, because we don't want all this fat to be cooking in here. So I'm gonna take my knife, do me a split down the middle here. See? Do me a split right down there. Because that's where some folks get that bacon from. See? You do your split down there, you can just pull that fat up and you can expose some of that meat. You can expose that meat. You can expose that meat, because that's what you want to do. You want to expose that meat. You want to expose that meat. See, you want to expose all of that meat. There you go. You want to expose as much of that meat that you can. See, sometimes you can say, this was a fatty hog here. As grandma would say back in the day, this was a fatty hog. So that's what you're doing. You're exposing all that meat. So you're cleaning it up. You're cleaning it up. You're dressing it up. Getting all that out of there. Getting all that stuff out of there. Dressing it up. You still coming down here, exposing the meat on these pork hams here. Because you want that season, you want all your season to get down here. Same thing. You want your seasoning to get all down here. So yeah, that's what you want to expose all of that, because you want that seasoning to get all up in here to this meat. So that way when you begin to cook, that season is all up in here. That season is all up in here. So you clean all that up to the best you can. So that way that seasoning is getting to that meat. So now I'm gonna come over here on this top side, trim it up, get that little bit there off of there, trim that up, trim some of all that up as my grill coming up to temperature back there. Once my grill comes to temperature, we'll be ready to throw this bad boy up there. We're gonna cook it belly side down. Belly side down starting out. That's the way we're gonna cook this bad boy. Belly side down starting out. See how we got that cleaned all up? We got it cleaned up like we want it to. So now that we got everything cleaned up like we want to, get a little piece of fat off of here. You want to leave just a little bit of fat so you won't dry some of your meat out. But now that you got everything cleaned up like you want to, as I remember I told you all that I was going to show you the hog head. Remember I told you I was going to show you the hog head, that I do have my hog head, which we're going to cook that also. So down here in this bag, which this is going on the grill also, I have my hog head. So this is going on the grill also. I have my hog head, which is going on the grill. This is what I'm gonna smoke this too, which is still have the eyes. And sometimes what more folks will do, they'll take and put an apple in the mouth. But this is the hog head, which will go on the grill also, which will smoke. See up in here, you have all of that meat that's in that hog head right there. You have all that meat that folks will make their barbecue, will make their south out of. But this is what's going on the grill too. He's gonna smoke right along with the meat also. So that is your hog head also. So we don't have to worry about that. And then you have your pig feet. These are your pig feet. These are your pig feet, which we'll cook. I'll chop them up and I'll put them in my crock pot and I let them cook. These are your pig feet. These are your pig feet. So all this will go on the grill and they will cook also. So right now, what we're gonna take and do is now we're gonna take and season this bad boy up. So we're gonna take and start with our pulled pork rub. So we're gonna go down here and we're just gonna season it up. We're gonna season it up. We're gonna get all down up in here and season it up. And season it up. So we got it trimmed up like we want to. We already got it where we want to. So we're gonna go down here and season it up. Season it up. Season it up. That pulled pork rub, get all down up in there. And don't be too afraid. Don't be too afraid of the rub. Don't be too afraid of the rub. Let it go all down up in there. It's gonna get all down up in there. Then we're gonna come back with some killer hog. Cause I like the color that killer hog gives. And today we're cooking with some lump choco and some cherry and some apple wood. Lump choco and cherry apple wood. So we getting up in there and we just season it all down. We season it all down. As you can see, we season it. We season that bad boy. So don't be afraid to season that meat. Get all up in the crevices. And then once you let it season, you flip some of that meat back. So that way every piece of that meat is covered. And then what you do, you just get in there with your hand. So you get in them little spots right there with your hand, and you just pat it down. Just pat it down with your hand. Just pat it down with your hand. That's all you do. Get in there. Pat it down with your hand. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna let this, while our grill come up to temperature, we're gonna just let this sit and sweat. See, what it does is that seasoning brings that moisture out of the meat, and the seasoning seeps down inside of that meat while our grill comes up to temperature. And so while our grill comes up to temperature, that's exactly what we want to do at the time that our grill comes up to temperature. And so today what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be cooking it on our big smoker. And so right now I'm gonna walk over and I'm gonna take the camera over and I'm gonna show you the grill that we'll be cooking it on today. So let me walk around, I'll grab the camera, and I'll show you the grill that we'll be cooking it on today. So let me show you how good we have seasoned that hog up. See, if you take a look at that. We got it all seasoned, it all up. We got it all seasoned, it all up. And if you can see back there, it's a little light, dark, but this is the grill that we'll be cooking it on today. Let me get a little bit of light here. It's about 5 o'clock in the morning. Here, it's still 5:18 in the morning. But yeah, if you can see, that is the grill that we'll be cooking it on right there. That's the grill that we'll be cooking it on right there. As you can see right there, that's the grill that we'll be cooking it on right there. Right now, our temperature is right there, right above, climbing out, reaching, as you can see, 200 degrees. It's climbing up. We're waiting for it to get to 250. But that's the grill that we'll be cooking it on right here today. My big hog cooker. So stay with me. As soon as my temperature reach 250 degrees, I will come back with you and show you how we place the hog on the grill. So stay right with me. I'll be right back with you. As you can see, the hog is up there along with its other sides. We're gonna let it cook now for 6 to 8 hours at 250 degrees. The hog has been placed up there now. We're gonna let it cook at 250 degrees. The hog is up there, belly side down. We're gonna let it cook at 250 degrees. So we'll see you back. As you can see, my temperature gauge is right there at 250. So we are good. Temperature gauge is right there at 250, so we're good. This is the finished product of Showtime's hog. Sorry I couldn't get a video before they grabbed into it.